be brave.
Yeah, so I'm gonna invite you. Gonna give you lead. You said, do you have any replays?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, can we look at one?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this one. So this was, I played like a total of 2 days now of ones. So it's getting a little better, but it's still pretty sloppy. So this was, I think this is a good one to look at, because I won the game, but it was really sloppy.
Yeah.
And it's all the things in it.
Can you give me host before you start? Yeah, good.
I'll do that. Let's see, promote to lobby host.
Yeah.
And I know one of the biggest things with this one is I just didn't spend my money, and then I didn't get the drone count that I thought I had. And so I stayed like a low eco game the whole game. But it was a lot of aggression back and forth, and so it worked out because we were both on low eco. But if I would have gotten to 80 drones, it would have been a lot easier. And then, and then he picked me apart a little bit too much on one of his attacks.
You know you can check the drone count at the top right? If you hover over there.
Yeah, I know. I probably should have done that.
Yeah, I do that very often actually.
Yeah.
It's just to confirm that I'm hovering around my 70 workers that I want to have at the minimum. So as I feel like Zerg can't keep up. Let's see, it's a Terran.
Yeah. So Terran's been the one I've had the most trouble with.
Yeah. Let's see, hedge first. Okay.
So this is my standard. Just do this opening for most matchups.
Yeah, this looks good so far. And what is your follow-up usually? Like what kind of composition or...
I've been doing the Lingbane Hydra.
Lingbane Hydra. Okay.
I like to be aggressive with like Bane drops and run-bys and stuff like that.
I mean, so far everything looks good. You also stop mining gas. Small thing you can improve in the early game. In your main mineral line there is a... You see you have 16 workers, but at the top left, second mineral patch, there's only one worker. Okay. So if you are like, I don't know what to do in the early game, you can check which mineral patch has the 3 workers on it and move one of them away. Because as you're basically mining with 15 workers, you know. It's just a small thing in the early game, but can be nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's... You see that pro gamers do that a lot in the early game. They just constantly shuffle their workers around.
Yeah, sometimes I do that.
Yeah, and then you move both queens down. Okay. Let's see. Let's quickly see what kind of scouting. You just see that he has a command center. Do you scout anymore, or is this enough for you to see that he has expanded, or what are you looking for in the early game right now?
For this part, I just wanted to see if he was building a natural, and if he was, and I know he has a Reaper, then I think I'm okay for a couple of seconds. And if he has some Hellions, I feel like in the early game I can hold it with just queens.
Yeah. Do you know like the different Terran openings or?
So I know we're playing mostly against the 2-1-1, and I know that hits somewhere around the 5-minute mark.
Yeah.
This is actually the first game I played against. I've seen on streams the Hellbat, whatever. And so this is actually the first game I play that, and so I identified that. This Overlord, I use him to scout about now.
Yeah, it's good. It's very important that you find out whether you're up against a 2-1-1 or a Hellion opener, because you need to play it different.
I was trying to get like a 330 scout to see what was going on.
Yeah, I mean 340 is still completely fine. You just need to be ready for the Hellions, like send the links across or something. Yeah, good. And what do you react to?
I make a big mistake here. I thought I had a Bane nest going, so I don't get a Bane nest until way late, but I thought I had one.
Yeah, again, like usually you get the double evolution chamber at 4 minutes 10, 20, 25, 30 or whenever, right? Against the 2-1-1. Against Hellion openers, the Baning Nest is very important, as you mentioned. Because
Okay, so skipping the Evos against the Hellion opener.
yeah, you can
for
still
now.
kind of get the evolution chambers if he doesn't commit to a Hellbat push or something. But if he commits to a Hellbat push, you either need a spine at the base where he's going to attack. So you would need like a spine at the natural and a spine at the third. Or you need a Baning Nest and be able to morph Banes. If you get 2 gases, Baning Nest is completely fine.
Okay, so just pushing. If it's 2-on-1, go upgrades before Bane, and if it's
Yeah.
Hellion, then do Bane before upgrades.
Against Hellions, always you don't need to morph Banings, but you need the Baning Nest. You know?
Okay, that makes sense.
Like you can scout, and if you see Hellions are coming, you morph the Banings. If Hellbats aren't coming, you don't morph the Banings. You know, kind of have to, because you could also go for a Hellion drop in your main base, or a Raven push, or a Marine Hellbat push. And you kind of need to react to what's coming.
Okay.
You know? Like he's building Marines and Hellions, so it could be the Marine Hellbat push, but I don't know, maybe he just wants Marines at home to defend and push out with Hellions, you never know.
Yeah.
But if you scout an armory, he's building it somewhere.
Yeah, he's got it in his front wall.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's always a Hellbat thing. 99%. See, you see the Hellions coming,
so I'm
and
just
you
now
don't
getting
have...
my Bane Nest because I thought
Yeah.
I was trying to morph Banelings and they weren't morphing.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I would, at this point I would just build like 2 spines at the natural immediately. And maybe
The
even...
natural or the third?
No, I would build the spines at the natural, give up on the third base, and take this one as your third.
Okay.
Because you can't really hold a Hellbat Marine push like this. Like, Hellbats will just kill your links way too quickly. It is possible, but you also need a lot of queens. Like, there's many ways to hold turn aggression. Usually if you know aggression is coming, a safe way to hold it is to just build a lot of queens.
Yeah, okay.
And you can kind of space out your queens so the Hellbats don't attack all the queens at once and transfuse. But you're gonna see the links will probably just melt unless you micro them properly.
I did. I don't know if this is a good plan, but this is what I did.
I should have just attacked with all the links, I think. Like, the link counter is not gonna do anything, I think. You don't have a drop ready either. I mean, it's better than nothing, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that was probably a bad decision.
Yeah.
And I lose the third because of it. But it ended up working for this game.
I think with this amount of links you could have almost held on to your third base if you just attacked with everything. The counter is working because he didn't repair the depot, I guess. Then you still have links over there as well at the...
Yeah, and I didn't even look at those.
Yeah, but I think you could have actually held this. But
Okay.
imagine if you had like 1 spine there or 4 banelings, like it would have been easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a mistake that I thought I had my Bane Nest going.
And you should also, like, you see your money is going up, right? That's why I said you should immediately expand down there, you know?
Oh.
Because you cannot, like, no matter how well you're in check, you cannot spend your money on links if you have only 2 bases. You need at least 3 bases to spend your money. That's why every Zerg in CVC opens with a free hatch opener. Because you cannot spend your money. Like, you can spend your money kind of on roaches, especially if you morph some Ravagers, but with links, no way. Like, it's just not possible. So if you know you're gonna lose your third base, just take another third base, because it's not gonna work out.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. And that, this is a big problem. Is I just pile up money when I'm getting attacked and don't know how to spend it.
Like, usually a 3-base Zerg will play with 2 macro hatches. Like, he will have a macro hatch in his main, and he will take a 4th base that he doesn't drone.
Okay.
And then he just transfers workers from the main base to the 4th, or he will drone it a little bit, because you cannot spend your money like this. But yeah.
So more hatcheries.
Yeah. Like, just build a macro hatchery if you see your money is going up, or I don't know. You need like something to spend your money on. Because having money, if you can't spend it, doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, that was obviously kind of badly microed.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually trying to walk past him.
The link counter is working again. Yeah, I mean, his macro is terrible as well. Look at his money. How is this even possible?
Diamond players here.
Yeah. Imagine if he spent his money. Or if you spent your money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're breaking out now. Like, Pick always tells his students to build one spine crawler against Hellbat pushes, because it's easier to build a spine crawler than to build a baning nest, because then you have to judge how many banings do I build, when do I get my upgrades, you know, it can get kind of rough.
Should I build one? You said build 2 at the natural, would I build any at the third?
Well, I would build one at the third, one at the natural. Okay. But if you know you cannot defend your third base, just build them at the natural, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's more of a if the base is forfeit. And you should have gotten your lair a long time ago. If you have spare gas, just get the lair.
Okay.
I mean, you're building queens, which is good, but like, if you have something you would like to spend your gas right on at lair tech, you should get the lair.
Okay.
Like, you would probably want to build Hydralisks right now, or get the 2-2 upgrade, get baning speed, but you can't because you didn't get the lair. That tells you, better get the lair now.
Yep.
I mean, you're building a lot of queens, but I think queens are kind of going to lose out on efficiency. I like the Overlord spread. Overlord spread is very good. I mean, I also like you made units at the correct point in time. I'm not sure why you're giving up on your main base now, but...
Yeah, so he's dropping me in the third and hitting the main, and so this is another part I need to get better at. It's just like multitasking the drops and the aggression.
Do you, like, how do you control your queens or your army, hotkey wise?
I have my Lings on 1, Banes on 2, and all my queens on 4.
All your queens or only the creep queens?
I have all of them on 4. I do the still do the backspace injection.
Yeah, I also do a backspace injection. But you should like use 2 separate queen hotkeys, I think.
Okay. I do have a separate creep hot queen or creep queen hotkey that I use sometimes, but since I just rebuilt all of them, I haven't done that.
Yeah, hotkeying queens is really cumbersome as Zerg anyways. Yeah, but like you should rarely pull all your queens together. I mean, what is that drop gonna do? Like, it's the Lings are gonna kill the Hellions anyways, and then a Medivac will fly around. If you have a queen at every base, they will eventually kill the Medivac, right? Yeah, you need to be a bit, I don't know, like doing the multitask defense as Zerg is one of the hardest things. I mean, you don't use F2, right?
No, well, not really.
I use only F2. I don't hotkey my units at all.
You really?
Yeah, I hotkey nothing, almost. You don't need to hotkey, like you can do everything with F2. I'm like watching this from your cam right now. Your money is definitely going up, like you stopped spending your larva, you're now at 13 larva. You're no longer injecting, so as soon as harassment starts, everything starts to fall apart, huh?
Yeah, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a good position otherwise. Like, this is, like, you're definitely ahead in this game, I think.
I have 56 to his 49 workers.
Yeah. You have 4 hatcheries, but you're just not building anything anymore.
Yeah. So now, I think once I clean up a little bit of the harassment, then I realize, oh wow, I'm not spending anything, time to get after it.
Now, there are many ways to handling this aggression. I mean, this is not even like, I mean, he's basically attacking you with a Hellion, with four Hellions and a Liberator. But what if there were like a 16 Marine drop in the main, right? Usually, I have a couple ways to handle this kind of aggression. Either I send all my queens in the main base to handle a drop there, for example. Like, I just send all my queens to handle something. Or I like F2 and send my entire army to handle something. And then what I do is, let's say I want to be aggressive and I know I'm going to be dropped. So what I do is I just F2, press Ctrl 1, then I have all my units on the hotkey 1. Then I put the rally point where I think I'm going to be harassed, like in my main base. So all my units are going to be in the main base, and I just attack with everything I have, and that's what most pros do as well, from what I've seen. Like they rally all their units, and then they just have all their aggressive units on attack move, and then they know, oh, I have my defensive units in the main, and I'm being attacked at the third base. So what you can do is F2, A move to the third base, then 1 A move to the front again. Then all your defensive units shift to the third base, all your aggressive units shift to the front. You know? Like if you... Like,
okay.
I'm not sure how to explain this, but do you understand what I mean?
I think so.
Like you just F2 to move all your units somewhere, and then you just tell your aggressive units again what they need to do, you know? Like
yeah.
That's how I usually defend this.
Gotcha.
Or then I can just be like, oh, I have all my defensive units in the main, quickly go back home, suck. Box a part of the units, A move to the third base, and my defensive units are gonna shift to the main third base, and I can still attack. You know, you have to kind of find your own way around these sort of restrictions. Yeah. There's no easy way. I mean, you can also just leave like 8 links at every base, or like 2 hydralisks.
I watched one of your replays, and you had, at one point, you just sent a bunch of links to like each base just to have them there, leave them there. I think that's what I need to do, because when the Terrans just drop in my main and I have to move my whole army or don't have anything, they just get too much damage done.
Yeah.
But if I had like 2 queens and 8 lings, I think I could clean up a lot of that.
Yeah, drops are still one of the main reasons why I lose games, especially Protest, right? They fly an empty warp prism into your main base and warp in 10 zealots, and you're like, what? 10 zealots? I need like 80 links. I need 80 links, and the zealots are still gonna live, like.
Exactly, yeah. Especially with Protoss warp ends and DTs and
Yep. Okay, let's continue on a bit here. You also built a couple too many overloads, but I think that's fine. It's like a small thing. You have the money anyways.
So I think at this point I realize I'm not spending my money, and I just
you get the
try to spend it.
upgrades, Hydralisk. Yeah, I should have gotten this quite a while ago. You're still building drones, which is fine as well. Some units would be nice, I guess. You see his army. I'm curious how you're going to take the fights as well. I mean, you build a lot of queens, but you don't really use the queens, you know?
Yeah, so then I throw down 3 macro hatches because I feel like I don't have any larvae, I have way too much money.
Yeah. Yeah, here we have the problem that you don't have baneling speed, right?
And I'm almost done with it. I shouldn't have pushed.
Yeah, if you don't have baneling speed this late in the game, it can be really, really hard. Yeah, you should just try to stall a little bit of time, but now at least you spent your money, but now you have mostly Hydralisks. Hydralisks, good unit, but they kind of need a bit of support, you know. Yeah, you're building links now, because you're not upgrading the Hydras. This is actually something that I noticed with most pros. They get the +1 missile upgrade before they get the +1 melee. I'm not sure why, but they do it. I can't actually explain it. Like, I don't know that, like, if the Hydras need 1 less shot for the Marines or something, but they always do that.
Interesting.
And now, what is important with Hydras is that you want Hydras or like your Mutalisks. Did you ever play Mutalisk styles?
I hated that style. I was really bad at it.
You know, Hydras are kind of the same way. You want that nice number of Hydralisks that goes into a fight, constantly deals damage, and then comes out of the fight. They're like Mutas. And then you want this Ling Force that you just send at your opponent to try and make certain that your banelings connect.
Yeah.
Hydras without banelings without links don't work. Link baneling without Hydras can work, but you can't really deal with the Medivacs and stuff like that. So you really want to have a nice amount of banelings, a nice amount of links, and then you can invest into Hydras or Hive Tech. But it's very important that you have a nice amount of link baneling.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we see a baneling attack. Yeah, baneling Rumba is really good. It's actually a really good play, you know? Spend your money.
Yeah.
You're going for the lurker then? Infestation pit. Oh, the macro hatcheries. That's how you spent your money, huh?
Yeah, once I stabilized, I threw down 3 because I had all the queens and I had all the money and I had no larva.
Oh, I like this. You move command the banelings, right? Did I see that correctly? Yeah, that's very good. That's exactly the way you're supposed to do this. No, you play pretty well. Like your early game was garbage, your defense, but at the mid game things are working out, you know.
Yep. Yeah, I mean I feel like I have pretty good game sense and control most of the time. I'm just not that familiar with ones, and then I do get kind of shut down and screwed up with the harass and stuff like that.
Baneling attack there. Yeah, but here you have like pure Hydra, and pure Hydra once again, if you don't upgrade the Hydras, is garbage.
Right, yeah, so that's why I bring it back. I was actually just doing that to distract them.
Yeah, so that's really good. I noticed.
The other side.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna get a lot harder once your opponent starts to get faster at the game as well, right?
Yeah. And right now I'm playing. He was diamond, but I do play quite a few masters, and then they just seem to. Most of the time I lose those. I win maybe like 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4.
Well, what usually is that kills you, like the drops, harassment, or?
Yeah, and they can just stream these units, and I feel like I run out of bane lanes before they run out of.
One thing that I always like. First of all, once again at there, like this is kind of a weird engagement because your Hydras are on one side of the map, then your banelings just. Let's go back a bit. Like here, you still have a couple Ling and Baneling, but what will happen once you take this fight is you have no Banelings left, right? So every time I take an engagement with Ling Baneling, while I attack him, I just morph new Banelings. Okay. Like I would morph like 10 Banelings now, and then be like, okay, do I have enough Lings to attack him and attack? But if you just even made those 4 Lings down there into Banelings, that could. Then with your next attack wave of like 50 Lings, you'd have 4 Banelings, and if those 4 Banelings connect, game changes, you know?
Oh, that's what I need to do.
Yeah, you always need to morph a couple of Banelings when you attack. And then, well, the Hydra risk is kind of obvious, right?
Yeah.
You were a bit overzealous with the aggression. Let's see, I mean, you still have a lot of money, because now you're morphing the Banelings, but now you cannot attack him.
Yeah, so here's where I get, this is what ended up happening when I play Ling Bane is I'm just sitting here morphing Banelings while I'm getting destroyed.
But the move command is nice. It can also be good if you move a couple of Lings past his forces as well, you know. Yeah, but this is it's an okay cleanup. So there's quite a few units there. Plus 3 damage upgrade kicked in, and see, like once again, not you're morphing the Banelings now. With the Banelings could be ready now, and then you can be a little bit more aggressive, you know.
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
Now we have the problem. We only have Hydra lists, but we really need that Ling Baneling force to go with the Hydras. The Hydra lists are like Mutas. Mutalisks are they're like Mutalisks who are better at fighting, but worse in every other way.
Yeah, I was just trying to snipe a couple.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Raiders.
Yeah, it's good. See, like they kill the Medivacs really fast and things like that, but you need some Ling Baneling for them to tank.
Definitely.
You always have to build kind of a even You always have to kind of build a composition that will work. I mean, we're still in a good spot here. Like, we have 55 workers, which is a bit too few, but building a couple more.
He just took out quite a few on this base.
Mules.
I go in and I get pretty good damage on a couple wing run-bys here.
Yeah, mules are a bitch, but he doesn't mule.
Yeah.
It's like, I cannot spend my money anyways. The guy is Diamond League, Diamond 1, I think, paired down.
Yeah, he is.
Let's see, he's pushing. Now you're building lurkers. Lurkers, I'm curious how you're gonna use these. Lurkers, I find.
It's my first time using lurkers in this, but I saw you do it, and I love lurkers, so
yeah.
I just kind of use them as tanks.
That was really good. If the opponent walks into them, or if you can get a good siege with the lurkers. Lurkers are very useful if you drop them. Lurker drops are one of the most deadly things. Or if you put them like on the ramp there in his main base, that can end the game immediately. It's actually my lurker style used to be just drop lurkers on his ramp.
I like that.
Yeah, like if you just drop.
I'm just leapfrogging him.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem is that tanks outrange lurkers.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to deal with.
But I know I have the lings coming, so he's only got one tank.
I mean, this is good. And you got him.
There it is.
Yeah, it was a nice game. The lurkers were good as well. Lurkers can be really hard to use, because if you just have like 5 tanks, you're just gonna shell at your lurkers. And against mass tank, you just need to get either broodlords or vipers out.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you usually. This is what I do when I play Lingbane Hydra. When I get my hive, I start a spire at the same time. So I build infestation pit, hive spire, then hive spire at the same time. And then once the hive is complete, the spire takes like 5 or 10 seconds, and then I can morph a greater spire.
Okay.
The problem with ultras is they kind of have the same weakness as the Lingbane Hydra, which is a lot of tanks. Like a lot of tanks will kill your Lingbane Hydra. And ultralisks tend to get stuck behind hydralisks. Like, it can be kind of awkward to position them because the hydralisks don't move forward, so the ultras just run against your hydras, want to push through. And broodlords are a really nice addition to hydras because hydras kill vikings, etc. really quickly. And broodlords, well, they make it so tanks cannot shoot, right? Then you have like Lingbane Hydra Broodlord, then you can add some Vipers or Infestors if you feel like you have the APM to land a Fungal or a Blinding Cloud, and all of a sudden you have a composition that Terran almost can't beat.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Well, this is a good game.
Okay.
Is there anything like about that game that you would also like to know? Like.
No, I think you made some good points. Like, so what I needed to do for the Hellbat push, and then what I need as far as like how many hatcheries in the beginning to do. Get a macro hatch, get a 4th hatch. If I'm gonna play the Ling style.
What is very important is that you get the lair quickly after the upgrades. Like once you started the upgrades, you really need to get that lair quickly, because without the lair, you can't get baning speed. Without baning speed, you have no chance against Stimp Marines. Like baning speed is the most important upgrade in CVT. More important than your +1/+1 or whatever. Without baning speed, Lingbane doesn't work.
Okay.
As soon as baning speed kicks in, whoosh, you roll over him. Because then then he needs to add Marauders or tanks or Widow Mines or something. Or be a GM and just have insane micro and split his Marines 20 ways, focus down all your banings, and you're just sitting there like, why do I even play this race? That's another thing, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a CVP replay?
I do. Let me see.
Yeah. And against a quick question against the 2-on-1, like how do you drone, or when do you stop droning?
With 2-on-1, I usually just drone until like 450 or 445, and then make lings.
Yeah, that can be a bit close, but it's fine. Against 2-on-1,
something like that.
Against 2-on-1, it's safe to just throw in all the mineral lines and have like 1 or 2 gases. That's how most people handle it. And then you can start your 1-1 as soon as you kind of started to defend the push, and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
So this was from yesterday. Played a Protoss. This one was a very sloppy game, but
a sloppy game.
it was sloppy. I titled it ZVP win sloppy. I might have even forgotten speed on this game, I'm not sure.
Hatch. Gas. I mean, it's fine so far. Pool. You always put the drones immediately in the gas, which is completely fine. I kind of don't do that because I value minerals more. Like, see, once again, do you see the mineral patch with the 3 drones?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, like the second from the left has 3 drones
yeah.
in it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like a matter of a couple minerals, you know. But
yeah,
can be
but
nice.
I have a close one that's not. That makes sense.
Yeah. Stalker, Stargate, like what is this? Stargate before Nexus.
This is all bad too, yeah. His build's stupid, my build's stupid. We're both just making a mess of this.
Maybe I should coach him instead.
Yeah, he needs it.
Just build charge slots and F2A move. Charge slot Arcane. Road to GM. And it goes for some pressure, okay. Like, if you see a late Nexus like this, I would always be really scared. I mean, he kind of... because a good Protoss could have like a pylon and a gateway down here and maybe go for chrono out his warp gate. I don't know, like, I've seen weird stuff. I would always just build a spine, you know. Build a spine and be safe. And then... a couple queens. I always build at least 1 additional queen even against Protoss, because else dealing with oracles and while having no creep can be really annoying. My usual build order is actually like the hedge gas pool, and then I build the 2 queens like in my main and natural. Then I start my 3rd hatchery, like you do, and as soon as my queen in the natural is done, I start another queen there. And after that queen is done, I start another queen. And then I'm at 4 queens. I have 1 queen for creep spreading, and I have 1 queen for each hatchery. That's how I usually do it.
And that's just for your ZVP?
Yeah, that's for CVP.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that was another thing. I didn't know when to get the extra queens before or after the 3rd.
Yeah, because it can be really annoying to deal with stuff like this. You really didn't get links. I know it's... Yeah,
no, I definitely forgot it.
He recalled home and double pylon overcharge. Okay.
Yeah, this is obviously he's not a GM.
Yeah,
and then he lets me in.
Yeah, I mean, mistakes like that happen even to my opponents. Another thing is you kept mining gas. Why is that? Like, what was your original plan with the gas?
I don't remember if I just forgot to take it off because of the early pressure, or if I think I just forgot to take it off.
Okay.
Because he came in.
Yeah, like if you mine too much gas, you can kind of get some upgrades or something, or like a quick lair into hydras or something if you really want. But
yeah, I think that and like I said, this was a really sloppy one.
Yeah, what I would usually do if I forget to take off gas is either lair into Spire and pray he's not going for Phoenix and doesn't see the Spire, or I go for a quickling baneling drop, like Overlord speed, and then at 3 minutes 30 Evolution Chamber and banelingness. It's kind of like the last build I put on Spawning Tool. If you
I did look at that one.
Yeah, it's kind of the same. You can do the same against Protoss. It's like if you have too much gas, just do that.
Yeah.
Should build a spore. You can also build a spore at your natural and walk it over there, you know. It works as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
And yeah, definitely need to get that lair going. Like right now you're building queens, but it's kind of the time of the queen is already over, more or less. Binding nest, good. The evolution chamber +1, yeah. You really need to get the lair going though.
Okay, yeah. And this one, I actually think I did. This is another one mistake, but I felt like I hit lair and it didn't go. Maybe I had a queen going.
Yeah.
So I got it late, but I think I tried to get it 30 seconds earlier or more.
It's okay. All the links got stasis. I mean, you see his army there, right? You can kind of start to ask yourself, well, can I kill that army? It's like 2 oracles, 3 zealots, and the stalker. You're gonna be like, So that's what I need to prepare for, you know? Like, this tells you a couple of things. Like, what do you think what kind of information can you get from seeing an army like this?
Yeah, so, I mean, I know he's got still 2 oracles on the map, and it looks like he's got some gateway stuff. I haven't seen any robo stuff. I haven't seen him doing anything else with the Stargate. And so I think he's got a pretty low army count. He's just trying to get his macro going. Yeah.
So, but like one thing that you can always do is just click on his units and check his upgrades, right? You'll see he has no upgrades, so that doesn't really tell you that much because that's almost normal. But what you do see is that he has zealots, and if you see zealots, then you can kind of expect that he's going for a charge. And usually with charge comes chargelet Archon Immortal. It's kind of the thing that I would expect from this.
Okay.
Like, if you see zealots, then especially if he keeps swapping in zealots, you can almost always expect charge, because if he's not going for charge, there's no point in making zealots. Then you see the Immortal and you can be like, okay, charge slot Immortal. What else is he gonna add to the composition, right?
Yeah.
You should always kind of look at the units he's building and ask yourself, well, what do I need to prepare myself for?
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, once again, we see the I don't build units, and then all of a sudden we spend our entire money because we're Zerg.
Yeah, exactly. And so Lingbane Hydra, is that still the right comp for this?
Yeah, Lingbane Hydra is completely fine. It's actually the only comp you can play.
Yeah, it just seems like it's good against everything.
Well, it's the problem is that Zerg units in general are kind of shit. Like the Immortal is an Immortal costs as much as like 2.5 Hydras, 2.25 Hydras. Would you ever rather have 2 Hydras than an Immortal?
No.
Like, would you ever rather have 4 Lings than a charge slot? A charge slot who kills a Ling in 2 hits? Like, you know, and then you have the Archon, like 2 Archon hits and 20 Lings are dead, you know, you kind of need something to equalize that, and that is the Baneling for us, because we send in the Baneling to kill the Zealots, then we try to kill the Immortals with the Hydralisks while the Lings are tanking the damage, because our Immortals don't do AoE damage, and that's kind of how our composition works. That's why we need Banelings. Banelings are just there to kill the Zealots and maybe tank a bit of damage.
Yeah.
I mean, you see him push. I like that you always have so much vision on the map, that's really good. You always see his pushes.
Yeah, I'm good at map vision and map awareness. That's just from playing a lot of teams, I think. But
yeah, you played a lot of... Why did you switch to 1v1?
What's that? Why'd I switch to ones?
Yeah.
Just something different.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Zealots.
One of those probes, but I didn't get them.
The stasis traps everywhere.
It was pretty good move by him. But then I see that he's brought his whole army to chase these 4 Banelings, so then I take that opportunity to take out his third.
Yeah, it's a really good move. Also did both the forges. I mean, these are really smart moves by you, you know?
Thanks.
Just the early mid-game macro is kind of in shambles.
Yeah.
you really need to learn a good build order for that. Like just like I don't know, how do you learn build orders? You just kind of read them, or
Yeah, I just look them up online.
Yeah.
Watch one of your videos or something.
Yeah, you really need to try like play a custom game and just get the feeling down. Like, what does it feel like when I get the upgrades and I start the lair? Like, try to play the build order as perfectly as possible, and then you will kind of make connections in your head. You know, like how you do.
Yeah.
Like, okay, lair is done. Can I start my +2/+2? Can I start my baning nest? Do I have enough gas geysers? Can I start my hydralisk then? You know, and then you will see like, oh, I actually don't have that much money right now. Like, you know, like the build orders are very refined, so you can play like them perfectly. Like everything has its place. And if you don't build things on time, then what will happen is you just fall. Like you will have everything later, and oftentimes you'll be in a StarCraft game and tell yourself, if only I had these 10 hydralisks 20 seconds earlier, everything would have been different, right? That is kind of the difference between a GM and a Master League player, except that the difference in time goes a lot wider, you know. Like you'll have things just so much quicker if you are at a higher league.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, like it seems like I'm slow on my lairs and getting the hive. And
you should just like try to get those. It's better to die getting them than to never get them at all. What are these disruptor shots? It's like I really want that infestation pit.
I know. I started my hive because I saw he was gonna kill my infestation pit.
If you see him shooting all the disruptor shots, just kill him, dude. Like maybe you missed it. I don't know.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, I mean he shot 4 disruptor shots at the baning nest. You can also kind of do the same thing you do against a Terran, as in select a couple of banelings and like send them in and try to blow up the zealots. Because it's even easier against zealots. Zealots will just walk towards your banelings. Yeah. If you just send 5 banelings in there and kill 10 zealots, then that's really good. Where did the army go? Oh. Yeah.
He's sneaky.
Yeah, you do really nice with your counterattacks.
Thanks.
Yeah, they're working good. I'm always very scared when I commit with that many links. Yeah, now we have only banelings. Move command the banes, yeah, exactly.
And then that was satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, he had like nothing. You fought with half your army and you still killed him. Without the links. But the links wouldn't have been. What a fucking broken race. 0-1. He is really angry.
He was very angry.
It's a good game though. So like you really need to get that lair, especially if you start seeing your gas count go over 200. Like you just start the lair.
Get a quick lair, okay.
Yeah. I mean you invest a lot of money into queens, but you never use them anyways, right?
That's true, yeah.
Queens in the CVP matchup are very useful, for example, to shut down war prisms, you know. Oh, you actually asked, is there a queen count in CVP, like in CVT, where you want to have 5 to 8 queens for creep and stuff? In CVP, I usually just get 1 creep queen, like 1 queen to spread tumors, and then I have 1 queen at each hatchery. And
oh really? So you only do like one extra queen?
Yeah, if I'm up against an Archon drop, I'll build more queens because I know if I kill the War Prism, the game is over. You know, then I just go up to 7 queens. If it's like a Disruptor drop, if it's anything with a quick War Prism, I get additional queens. So if I have to hold like a 2 base all in. But other than that, and of course against like Mass Carrier, I like to get, or like in the late game to support my Brood Lords with transfusions and stuff like that. But other than that, you only really need 1 queen to constantly spread a bit of creep or stuff like that. And that's actually it in as far as queens go. The other thing that works really well is if you just put your queens to the combat, because queens aren't armored and they have a lot of HP, so they will tank a lot of immortal shots and things like that. So they can be really useful in fights. Like never underestimate the power of a queen, especially against Terran. If you can send your queens in and have the tanks shooting at your queens and just transfuse the queens while you attack with your army, his tanks will never shoot at your army once. Like, it takes like
really?
5
Nice.
tank shots to kill a queen. 5 shots. Do you know how long that takes?
That's awesome. Yeah. Sometimes I do that, but if I have a good creep spread to their base, then I'll just add my queens to my army and just go after it.
The hard thing is to have the queens at the front, so they take the tank damage. At the same time, you don't want the marines shooting at them, because then the queens die, you know. You have to find like that balance of how do I position the queens so the tanks shoot at them but the marines don't, and then I can attack him with the Ling Bane. But the queens have to take the first shot. It can be a bit difficult, but it's really good if you get it going. But yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like to talk about in this replay? Or like anything Protoss in general, actually?
So with let's see, with the big adept pushes, what do you like to do with that? Like the early, they go for glaive upgrade, and
I mean like the 6 to 7 adept push?
Yeah.
First of all, do you know how to scout that?
Not really, no.
So
I just look for a moving Twilight Council.
Yeah, another tell is that at the ramp they will have an adept, another zealot, or a stalker, and the build works that they build adepts out of all the gateways, and then they go for 3 gateways total, I believe. So they will build 1 adept at the start, and then they build 2 additional gateways. Build another 3 adepts out of all the gateways, and then warp in another 3 adepts. It's like 6 adepts appear at once, you know.
Okay.
So if you see that they're building adepts, like if you see that they have like a pool of adepts behind the first adept, like a total of 4 adepts, for example, then you know the push is coming.
Okay.
It could still be a Warp Prism. Like, you still have to be a little bit careful. It could still be like a Warp Prism adept, or like a very committed Warp Prism DT adept. I don't know, it's Protoss, you know, like everything is possible with that race.
Yeah.
But generally, it's if they build adepts out of gateways after like the 3-minute mark, it's likely that it's that push. And then you have 2 ways to defend it. Either you build a Baneling Nest at 3 minutes 45 or a Roach Warren at 3 minutes 45. Then you just need a couple roaches, like 4 to 5 roaches. And you want hit the... If he comes, for example, from here, like over here, is where he pushes. Then you send the roaches at him, so the roaches beat back the adepts, and then you follow the shades with the lings, for example.
Okay.
So you need like a lot of roaches and lings. The problem usually is that he shades in your mineral line and is already in another mineral line. So you want the roaches to attack him, but the roaches are too slow, so you also need lings.
Oh, okay.
So he has to shade away from the roaches.
Should I just try Banelings then and just blow up, or?
Yeah, if you can connect, but then he can still shade away, you know. But if you have like 3 Banelings in your natural and 3 Banelings running at the adepts, that can work. But like you basically need to have an army that can beat his adepts on both fronts, in your natural or in your third base or wherever, and where he currently is.
Yeah, it seems like they just ping pong back and forth, and it's pretty frustrating.
Usually 2 minutes 45 is the time you want to build this stuff, and then at like 4 minutes 30 is when you really need to pump the units. The latest. A little bit before that, I think. I don't really play against that very much anymore, because why even commit to adepts units that you're gonna lose when you can just build an oracle and do the same amount of damage to losing nothing at all?
That's true, yeah. Okay, and then when they're doing a bunch of like warp kit or drop play, do you just put like a couple hydras in your main and just try to snipe the dropship, or?
Yeah, but you put the spore crawler there. That's very smart. That's what I usually try to do, or have like queens patrolling there. I usually try to just defend it with queens, I think. I used to try and build spine crawlers, but I don't know, zealots don't care. Like, if they have the +3 damage upgrade, before a spine crawler kills a zealot, your hive will be dead anyway. So.
Yeah.
Like, it's really dangerous.
Doesn't seem to help.
Having if you can kill the Warp Prism, that's fine, but if you have like spot overlords, that's really good because usually late game Protoss doesn't have Phoenix patrolling the map. So you can spot it easily with overlords, and if you can spot it, just put like 4 Hydras there and hope they kill the Warp Prism.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So the big takeaway, I mean, this was really sloppy intro game, but was taking off gas or getting a faster layer, and either way, getting a faster layer.
Yeah.
In both games.
3 minutes 30 is when you put drones back into the gas, usually when you have your main and natural saturated.
Okay.
It's like the same as for CVT. You want to, if you have like 35 drones, you put a couple back into gas. Some do it earlier, some do it later. I usually have at some point at like 3 minutes 20 or something, you have 3 X in your main morphing into drones, and then I just rally those to the gas. That's what I do.
Okay, and then with in general with Protoss, as far as the order of Bane Nest, upgrade, layer, what do you typically try to do? Do you go layer first, or do you go upgrade first? Or does it just depend?
If I go Lingbane Hydra, it's usually melee as a +1 melee upgrade. Then I get the I get the Evolution Chamber and Baning Nest around the same time usually, unless I'm up against the Stargate, then not. But if I'm like feel threatened by Adepts or Zealots, Charge Lots, then I get the Baning Nest, then the Evolution Chamber.
Okay.
Around the same time. Then I invest into +1 melee and then the lair.
Okay.
And so after the lair,
after melee is the lair.
After the lair, I get +2 melee, Hydra Disc, then and Baning Speed at the same time. Baning Speed always is a high priority. Except if I know I'm up against Stargate play, then I switch it up a bit, get the missile upgrade. If it's like mass carry, you have to kind of adjust a bit as you go. But I mean, there's a lot of different things. Like, for example, against an Archon drop, I usually get the lair immediately. Like if I feel that DTs are coming, or if I know I'm going to invest into roaches, I get the lair as soon as I can, or maybe at like 2 minutes 45 already, or 4 minutes, whenever. And then I can get an Overseer out to combat the DTs, and I can get roach speed to help me fight against the Adepts,
Okay, that makes sense.
Like if you're at the point, like usually what I would do is play the +1 melee, Baning Nest, lair, whatever. And whenever you feel like, if I played against this again and would have gotten the lair quicker and would have been able to finish the upgrade in time for this push, I would have been in a better situation. Try doing that. Like next time you play against it, just try getting the lair faster. That's what I do.
Sounds good. So big takeaway with what you saw today is I just need to work on my opening, spending my money, getting the upgrades and the layers and stuff like that quicker. Is that the biggest problem you saw?
The biggest problem is really your macro in the early mid game. Like you build a lot of queens, which is really good. Like queens are a nice way to kind of spend your money, and at least my mineral count isn't that high anymore, but you also didn't build a macro hatchery this game. If you have 3 bases saturated on the minerals, just build a macro hatch immediately against Toss. Like you cannot spend your money on links. The same against Terran.
Okay.
And do you also want to have a look at the CVZ quickly, or?
Yeah, if you have a second, yeah, we could.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Cool.
Feels haircut, man. Subtraction.
Here's one.
Yeah. I feel so dirty being on the NA server. I feel like I have to take a shower soon. Yeah.
So gross.
Actually, you can be the host and just talk me through this game.
Okay. I think this was a pretty quick game. It was from yesterday. This is just I do the same thing in every ZVZ. I just try to be really aggressive.
Hello, Karis.
Immediately. With Lingbanes, and then when I feel like I'm ahead, then I get some drones, and when I get 2 base somewhat saturated, then I grab another gas, get +1, and grab a roach warren, and then just be really aggressive with roaches.
Yep.
So that's pretty much what this one is.
Well, I'm looking forward to what you're gonna present me with. I can actually send you a nice UEP build order after in Skype quickly. I played against Snoot and was like, this is impossible to beat. And then I just played it, was like, lost my third hatchery, still won with the build, and I was like, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really safe opener.
Yeah.
Okay. So far everything is good. You keep drones in gas, which is completely fine. I see a lot of players like take drones out of gas because they don't want the baning nest so quickly anyways, and they can take
I go for a really quick bane nest, and then usually, and then I forgot to build it this game, but
I go for a fast third base. This is normal, and then like baning nest is still a bit late. He goes for a roach warren. What do you do if you're up against a roach warren usually?
What do I do?
Yeah.
So this game, I just didn't want him to take a third base, and so I figured if he's gonna invest in the roaches now, I'm just gonna be really aggressive and keep him off the third base, and try to stay on, keep my third base going, and get ahead. So I send all these lings to stop his third base because I know he won't have enough roaches right now.
Yeah, usually they actually will not even try to take a third base if they go for roaches because they know they can't. They just go for a very very big 2-base roach push. That is really hard to stop. Okay.
So he made a mistake here and let me in, so then I just keep the aggression going.
Such a disgusting matchup. And the banelings as well. No. No.
Come here.
No.
Come here. Oh. And so now I know I'm ahead in workers, so
disgusting.
I just keep it going. Yeah.
You really need to build a roach warren though. Like, roaches can eventually outscale you and you don't really have anything to spend your gas on. TBC is a very, very weird matchup. Yeah, you see a lot of roach. As soon as he has the +1 missile upgrade, links become a lot less efficient.
So I don't know. I think I'm still on this.
I mean, what is your goal right now? Like, what are you aiming for?
I wanted to just keep being aggressive here because I feel like I can get some damage done and keep him off that third base one more time, and then kind of fall back on roaches of my own.
Are you like scared of anything like enemy banelings or?
I was keeping an eye out for him, but I didn't see a bane nest in his base, so I went for quick roaches. So I didn't think he would have one.
Yeah.
And he didn't. So.
I mean, that worked well for you.
Well, I mean that probably wasn't the best ZVZ to show you, I guess, but that's kind of just my standard opening.
Yeah, the opening is fine. I think it's pretty much what everybody plays. Like they go for a couple drones at the natural, build a third base, and then just go for Ling Bane aggression. Against 2-base roach play like this, what I see players like Snoot do is they go for a really quick lair, evolution chamber into +1, and then they drone up to like 50-ish drones, take 4 gases, and then they have like a slightly higher drone count than their opponent, and they just spam roaches and to defend them. Like 50 drones is what they aim for. But then you're open to like night aside. Like the problem with CVZ is you never know. Like you scout a roach warren and evolution chamber, and the next second you have Mutalisks flying in your main base, or you have Nidus coming, you have he's just funneling links in his main base, and like 90+1 carapace links walk across the map, and you're like, what? You know, it's kind of the danger. Yeah. But if you're very aggressive, you can scout that, and that's really good.
Yeah. And what do you do if it's just like a quick muta, like 2-base muta?
You can do everything you want, actually. The best way to handle 2-base muta is to just go 3-base muta.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Or an easy way to kill it is to go like 2 gases. Lair, Nidus, spam, build queens constantly, and then just go like Nidus in his main base with roaches. Like 2 gas, Nidus, roach.
Yeah, I did play one yesterday where I tried to do that and it just didn't. I don't know if I just didn't figure it out quick enough. We already had mutas out, so.
Ah yeah, yeah, you really need to
was
go
too
for it
late.
fast.
Yeah. But
Like don't get roach speed or anything, just go straight.
yeah, I think that's what I did, but it was way too late and he just shut it down.
Yeah. Or you can also go for 2 gas with like 38 drone, sling bane, roach timing, you know, just aim over. It kind of depends on the map, like how big the rush size is. This one has kind of a large one.
Yeah, it was a big map that he did mutas on.
Yeah, then it can be a bit hard, but I mean you have a lot of different options. Or you can go for like straight spore crawler into infester, and then you have to be a little bit careful. Is he maybe going for a quick roach follow up or things like that? But you have a lot of options.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. I think this was helpful.
Good. Is there anything else you'd like to know? So just. You can, I mean, you can also reach me on like Skype or wherever you want if you have any more questions.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have plenty of questions for you.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Well, maybe we can do another one of these in the next like week or two, and I'll have some more replays.
Sure, I have some replays prepared. Come at me with your questions, and I'll try to help you.
Okay. Well, thanks for your help.
Yeah. Thank you. Hope you will improve.
Yeah.
Gotta make Master League, dude. What is your league in 2v2?
Masters and teams.
Yeah. It's free, right?
Yeah, it's too easy to be Masters.
I played. I'm like Master League in 2v2 playing like alone.
Yeah.
It's
not hard to be Masters and teams.
Yeah.
But
you're diamond already, so it's good as well.
Yeah, and I'm hanging in there with some of the Masters that I get matched up with, but I need to beat them a lot more routinely to break in.
You said CVTs, you have a lot. Yeah, your CVC is really good, huh?
Yeah, I've had pretty good luck with the ZVZ.
ZVZ
being aggressive and out microing them. Because they're not very good at, like, diamond level people are not very good at ling bang micro. And I feel like I do okay with it, so.
It'll get really hard once you try to defend, though. Defending in CVZ is a lot harder than attacking.
Yeah.
And like the Ling Bane is harder to defend, and then with roaches it's harder to attack. And then with infestors out, it's just a stalemate, and then with broodlords you just hope, just pray that your corruptors don't get funneled and
yeah,
slugfest.
Exactly.
Yeah. Guess that's gonna be it for today with you.
Yeah.
Gonna
thanks again.
Stream some 1v1s and.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll get in touch with you for the next one.
Yeah, sure. Just hit me up whenever. Man. Thank you.